Welcome to Newsbeacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Picture a quiet meeting room in Kazan, Russia, July 2025. Inside, leaders from Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and new partners like Saudi Arabia and the UAE finalize a plan years in the making. This plan is set to challenge the global economic order dominated by the US dollar for nearly 80 years. The mood is serious. They know this is a turning point. Their declaration speaks of cooperation and a new financial architecture for the 21st century. BRICS is no longer just a discussion forum. It's now an active force, ready to build rival institutions. As they step out for a group photo, their smiles mask the gravity of what's begun. The signed declaration is more than words. It's a blueprint for a new economic reality. When the news breaks, markets in New York, London, and Tokyo react with shock. The world suddenly realizes history is still being written and new authors have arrived. The quiet summit in Kazan becomes the year's most important global event. The message is clear. A new bloc is ready to assert its influence. The global balance of power is about to be tested. The world is on notice. BRICS, originally Brazil, Russia, India, China, and later South Africa, was coined in 2001 to describe fast-growing economies. By 2010, the group spanned 4 continents and represented over 40% of the world's population. Their goal, more influence, and a global system less dominated by the West. In 2024, BRICS expanded, adding Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iran, Egypt, and Ethiopia, making it a powerhouse in both population and energy. Now called BRICS Plus, the group rivals the G7 in economic weight. BRICS isn't a military alliance. It's an economic and political partnership with diverse members. Despite differences, they share a vision, a multipolar world with many centers of power. They want alternatives to Western-led institutions like the IMF and World Bank. This shared ambition is what unites them. The BRICS Plus nations have launched a shared digital currency, the BRICS Bridge, or Bridge Coin. It's digital only, backed by a basket of member currencies and commodities like gold and oil. The goal: enable trade and investment among members without using the US dollar. For example, Brazil can now buy oil from Saudi Arabia using Bridge Coin, bypassing the dollar entirely. Transactions are faster, cheaper, and outside US financial control. This is a direct challenge to the dollar's dominance. By backing the currency with real assets, BRICS aims to attract developing nations seeking stability. The Bridge Coin is more than a technical change. It's a political statement. It creates a financial shield against US sanctions. Now, BRICS members can trade without Washington's permission. This move fundamentally shifts global economic power. The world has a new way to do business. It's a declaration of economic independence. The BRICS Bridge currency is a response to years of frustration with a system favoring the US. The dollar's dominance gives America unique privileges, like printing money to pay debts and imposing sanctions. Recent US sanctions on Russia and Iran and the weaponization of SWIFT made other countries nervous. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed how US decisions could destabilize developing economies. BRICS nations wanted more control over their economic destinies. The 2024 expansion, adding major oil exporters, gave the group the economic heft to launch a useful trade currency. Now, BRICS includes both top energy producers and consumers, a natural ecosystem for the Bridge Coin. The timing was right, frustration was high, technology was ready, and the right members had joined. The Bridge Coin is their emergency exit from a system they don't control. It's a logical next step for nations seeking independence. The convergence of these factors made the launch inevitable. The world financial order is shifting. The Kazan announcement sent shockwaves through Washington. The dollar's role as the world's reserve currency has long been a pillar of US power. The BRICS Bridge is the most serious challenge to this status in decades. US officials publicly downplay the move, but privately, there's deep concern. Even if Bridgecoin doesn't replace the dollar overnight, it can slowly erode its dominance. De-dollarization has begun. The challenge is geopolitical. The dollar lets the US enforce its foreign policy through sanctions. The BRICS currency creates a parallel system, resistant to US pressure. In the future, sanctioned countries could keep trading within the BRICS bloc. This weakens US influence and the effectiveness of sanctions. The US will respond by strengthening alliances, developing its own digital dollar, and pressuring countries to stay loyal to the dollar system. A new era of economic competition is underway. The US must fight to maintain its privileged position. The global financial landscape is changing fast. The dollar's supremacy is no longer guaranteed. The BRICS bridge currency could split the world into two economic blocs. One bloc, led by the US, sticks with the dollar. The other, BRICS Plus, uses the new digital currency. Developing nations now have a real alternative for trade and loans. This gives them more bargaining power, but also forces tough choices. Aligning with BRICS could anger the US and limit access to Western markets. Sticking with the dollar might mean missing out on BRICS-driven growth. Many countries will try to balance both systems, making the global environment more complex and unpredictable. This division could hinder cooperation on global issues like climate change and health. Trust between blocs may erode, making agreements harder. The dream of a unified global community is at risk. The BRICS bridge currency has real-world effects. Take Elena, a coffee farmer in Brazil. She used to get paid in dollars, facing fees and unpredictable exchange rates. Now, her Chinese buyer pays her in Bridgecoin. Transactions are instant, stable, and cheaper. For Elena, that means more predictable income and less worry. Multiply this by millions, and you see huge shifts in money flows. Saudi Arabia can now sell oil to India in Bridgecoin, bypassing the petrodollar system. This reduces global demand for dollars and shifts influence away from New York and London. The BRICS currency isn't just for governments. It impacts businesses and ordinary people. Trade becomes more efficient and less costly. Even tourists might one day use Bridgecoin for travel across member countries. BRICS is building a self-sufficient economic world for its members. The future of global trade is being rewritten. The BRICS bridge currency faces major hurdles. Trust is the biggest challenge. The world has relied on the dollar's stability for decades. BRICS must prove their currency is safe and reliable, which takes time. Internal differences are another obstacle. Members have diverse economies and sometimes competing interests. Agreeing on rules and influence, especially with China's outsized economy, won't be easy. Technical challenges loom. Building secure, efficient systems for trillions in transactions is daunting. Banks and businesses must adapt, and any major failure could destroy confidence. The US and its allies will push back, using economic and diplomatic power to defend the dollar. The contest is just beginning, and success isn't guaranteed. The Bridgecoin's launch is only the start of a long journey. BRICS must overcome both internal and external resistance. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. The outcome will shape the future of global finance. The BRICS digital currency marks a new chapter in global power. The unipolar era of US dominance is over. We're now in a multipolar world. BRICS has moved from talk to action, aiming to reshape the economic landscape. The dollar will remain dominant for now, but its global role is eroding. The financial system may fragment, with different blocs using different currencies. For BRICS, this is both an opportunity and a test. Success could mean more influence and a balanced global system. Failure could set them back for years. The world is witnessing a great economic experiment. The rise of the BRICS currency signals a shift of power from west to east and south. Whether this leads to prosperity or division depends on the wisdom of global leaders. The decisions made in Kazan will echo for decades.